Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Good afternoon. We're going to be getting started here. We'll start with, as we often do at Notre Dame, with a prayer. Good and gracious God, we gather near the end of this Easter season, at the end of another academic year, to to give you thanks for the gift of the Spirit that came to your church at Pentecost and comes anew to us each day. As we begin this diploma ceremony for the Science Preprofessional graduates, the class of 2023, we thank you for the blessings and even some of the trials of the past 4 years, for the opportunities that you have given us as faculty and staff and administrators to work together in the search for knowledge and truth, and to cultivate the minds and hearts of the young men and women entrusted to us. Today, in a special way, we give you thanks for the gift of our graduating seniors and their families and friends. We thank you for your call to them to open their minds and hearts to the wonders of your creation. You have nurtured them, in them, the virtues of courage and faith and perseverance through storms. You have strengthened in them a hope for the future. We thank you for this University of Our Lady, this place of reflection and wisdom, of openness and diversity, of wonder and curiosity, and of compassion and zeal. As you have called us to this place and nurtured in us these virtues, we pray that you continue to inspire us to be bold, to be passionate, to be compassionate, and to be generous in sharing these virtues as we move forward into our future. We know that this will be our legacy. Bless our graduates and watch over them as they journey forth from Notre Dame in the coming years, as they pursue a deeper understanding of your creation. Keep them true to this calling, so that through the sciences they may serve humanity as they come to know you and love you more deeply. And as you have journeyed with us during these years, we ask that you continue to guide our footsteps in the years ahead. Watch over and protect us and all who travel to and from this campus this weekend. In a special way, keep our graduates and family members in your loving embrace. Give us the strength to work to build your kingdom of justice and peace until that day when we are gathered together again into the peace of your kingdom. We pray this through Christ our Lord. Well, good afternoon and welcome. My name is Father Jim Foster. I am the chair of the Science Preprofessional Department in the College of Science. I'm the director of the Health Science Advising Center. On behalf of the Dean of the College of Science and the faculty of the College of Science, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this diploma ceremony and to the celebration of the achievements of our 2023 graduates of the department. A special welcome to all of you, family members, parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, friends, aunts, uncles, who have helped to form them and to shape them over the years. All of you are sharers in their accomplishment today. And so we are graced by your presence and delighted to celebrate this day with you. I'd like to begin with some introductions. To my immediate left is Dean Kathleen Kohlberg, Assistant Dean in the College of Science, who teaches several courses for the students, including an embryology course that many here have taken, and a psychology and medicine course taught with Dr. Bob White, a neonatologist here in South Bend. Dean Kohlberg and I have been writing the committee letters for professional school applications for the past 18 years-ish. That's scary. Since Father Walter's retirement. In fact, we start up that process of letter writing this coming week. So as one season comes to a conclusion, another season starts right up. Dean Kohlberg will be calling you all forward in a few minutes to receive your degrees. I'll move to the next in line is Christiane Lax Walker. She's the newest member of our office, but many of you may know her from first year. She was the first year advisor for many present here. She has the position of pre-medical first year specialist in our Center for Health Professions Advising, especially helping first generation students, underrepresented students, students from under-resourced high schools to overcome some of the barriers that often impact persistence in the STEM disciplines during the transition into college from high school. Next to Christiane is Dr. Dominic Vachon, the director of the Hillebrand Center for Compassionate Care in Medicine, a center with a mission of educating our students in the science of compassion and of reminding them that the source of whatever we do comes from a heart rooted in compassionate caring. He has a large teaching load, offering courses on clinical professionalism and communication, courses that enhance the understanding of the human side of medicine. He also started the new Compassionate Care in Medicine minor several years ago, with 71 graduates honored this week and yesterday. And so if you get a chance, actually, during some quiet times, downtimes during this busy weekend, you can go online to their website and read some of the capstone project abstracts that have been posted there to get a better sense of what your sons and daughters have been working on over the past couple of years. Seated at the table is Ms. Carrie Teschka and Corey Ann Kellums, our administrative assistants and office coordinators, who try to remain behind the scenes, although they're a little move forward more than what they usually are. But they actually are responsible for much of what we're able to accomplish in our office. And next to Dominic Vachon is Ms. Rose Carroll, who is an administrative assistant for the Hillebrand Center, and who also tries to remain behind the scenes and is also responsible for much of what the Compassionate Care Center is able to accomplish. If we could all kind of thank them for their work on your behalf. On behalf of all of us, I'd like to congratulate you for what you have achieved here. You have come a long way. This is no small achievement. And I know that we say that every year in one way or another, but in your case especially, having come through what you've gone through over 4 years makes this day an incredible moment of celebration. When you arrived freshman year, you did not know that your first year would be interrupted by a pandemic. You did not know that your sophomore year was going to be socially distanced. You did not know that you could receive a community standards violation for just walking across the hall into somebody's room. You did not know that masks would be expected everywhere outside your room, not just in an operating room. And maybe you did not know there was such a thing as Zoom. I certainly did not know, and we all kind of learned kind of along the way. So you've had to adjust to all of that, in addition to adjusting to the usual stuff like chemistry and calculus and organic chemistry. To move through all that required an incredible amount of creativity and flexibility and adaptability and inner strength and resilience. So this is no typical graduation. We honor and celebrate you today for all that you have achieved and for all the ways that you've grown both personally and intellectually over these years at Notre Dame. But we also know that you did not do it alone. If there's one thing we've learned during these years is that we're all in this together. And so as mentioned, today is also a time to thank those who have journeyed with you and supported you to this day. And maybe we could thank them formally as well. I always approach graduations with a sense of history. Although Notre Dame is not a large institution, in every graduating class of 2,000 plus graduates, at least 10 to 15% will be going on to medical schools or dental schools or some other allied health profession in the coming years. That is a very large number for a relatively small school. And it's a culture that did not develop here overnight. It goes back actually to the 1800s with medical certificates being awarded at graduation as early as 1866, continuing until 1888, after which for a period of time there was a Department of Medicine here in the college. In 1915, Newt Rockne graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy, which started being given out in 1897. In 1917, a new medical curriculum was approved. Actually, it was more kind of pre-medical. Dr. Lawrence Baldinger, who was the fourth dean of the College of Science from 1943 to 1960, helped to found the Preprofessional Studies Department in 1960, leading it until his death in 1970. I was realizing this morning I'm only the third chair of the Department of Science Preprofessional Studies in over 60 years, which is incredibly scary. I always like to take a moment to remember my predecessor, a person who contributed to this story of the pre-med formation process at Notre Dame, having a large impact on your formation here, even though you never knew him. Father Joseph Walter, who died about 11 years ago, last month, headed the department for 36 years, retiring in 2005. There are thousands of health professionals who came through the application process under his tenure, including me, and I know some others sitting in this room. But he also impacted your lives because he helped to lay the foundation of what we do here. He was one of the founders of what is now a very large community of pre-health advisors across the country that Dean Kohlberg and I have both served on the board for. He helped to create this subspecialty of health professions advising. And so we stand on the very broad shoulders of those who have gone before us. Several years ago, there was an article in the New England Journal of Medicine entitled Holistic Review, Shaping the Medical Profession One Applicant at a Time. It reviewed how medical schools, and indeed all health profession schools, do look at more than just the numbers. That may not have been true back in 1977 when I got in, but it's definitely true now. They look at the whole person. If we want health professionals who will embody not just intellectual abilities, but also broader virtues, including cultural sensitivities, empathy, compassion, resilience, capacity for growth and learning, interpersonal skills, integrity, and commitment to service, then these schools will look for evidence of that beyond the academic record. They'll look at one's history of engagement. They'll look at past behaviors. They'll look at interviewing skills, writing skills, life choices, adversities overcome over time, distance traveled, or cumulative life experience. It's one of the reasons why there's such a push nowadays for enhancement years or gap years that become kind of a thing in the pre-med culture, as you're all aware. It's part of the culture of Notre Dame, I think, in fact, it's somewhat of a cliche, to speak of your formation here in holistic terms, remembering that the founder of the religious community that I belong to, the one that founded Notre Dame, Holy Cross, viewed education in holistic mind and heart terms. So it's nothing new for us at Notre Dame. But for the medical schools, especially back in the 70s, it was a struggle to measure candidates beyond the numbers. A former director of admissions who knew Father Walter during the early years said of him, long before the discussion of a holistic review became fashionable, he led us in that direction. He taught us to see the heart of a servant in the applicant. So long before the application process moved from a central focus on mere grades and exam scores, he and others in the pre-med culture, in the pre-health field, were arguing that professional schools needed to look at the whole person, the human behind the numbers, the ways the applicant has developed a sense of calling, the ways the student has developed servant leadership skills, collaborative skills, communication skills, cross-cultural skills, the way the student has grown personally, not just intellectual, knowing that whatever makes one a better person was in some way going to make them a better doctor, a better dentist, a better PA, a better nurse practitioner down the road. Whatever field you go into, whatever makes you a better person will make you a better and more caring and more compassionate healthcare professional. But we believe that at the core of what we do here is encouraging the development of the whole person. It seems sometimes that there are more than a few professional schools that, while demanding much more in an applicant's resume than in the past, including gap year experiences, and more time to grow in maturity and commitment, they're still very tied to the numbers and only secondarily interested in the whole person. But I hope that if you have learned anything over the years, it is the importance of nourishing the whole, a compassionate heart of service, not just here at Notre Dame, but for years down the road. Before Dean Kohlberg comes forward to call you forth, we've asked Dr. Dominic Vachon, the director of the Hillebrand Center for Compassionate Care, to say a few words today as well, because so much of the work of the center informs our approach to what I like to think of in terms of the undergraduate formation process. We always kind of talk about the seminary process, for those of us who kind of go through the seminary, as a formation process, but the reality is what you have gone through over the past 4 years is a very rigorous formation process. If you were to look back at yourselves 4 years past and just see how you have grown over these 4 years, you would know this is a very rigorous formation process that you have been through. Like Dean Kohlberg and I, Dr. Vachon has served as a teacher and mentor for our students and has been instrumental in addressing the importance of maintaining a holistic balance in future practice. Many here have had him in multiple classes. His research has focused on the relationship between empathy and burnout, criteria for maintaining caring and difficult work, and the psychology of helping interactions, the clinician-patient dynamics, and the role of spirituality in the helping professions. And so I invite Dr. Vachon forward.
Hello, everyone. How awesome is this that your graduation is on the 7th floor in Corbett in this stadium? This is awesome. If I were you, I'd be getting my picture taken in front of that scene right there. And I'm also have really positive associations here. A number of you are thinking, well, he's really into football. That's why he's saying this. Well, I do love football. But we get to have our class in this very place. This is our classroom. We've done the last several years of compassionate care and medicine, one of our core courses in the science of compassion, right here in this wonderful space. And it is now one of our favorite places to have class right here and to be able to enjoy that view. So to be able to celebrate your graduation here, it's like, wow, we lucked out to have this place for you. So I want to say basically two things. One, I want to talk about my colleagues. And two, I want to ask, why did you become a science pre-professional major? So Rose Carroll and I, we work in the Hillebrand Center for Compassionate Care and Medicine, and we work on applying science of compassion to healthcare. And things are going so well in healthcare that we don't know how much longer we're going to be doing the work, because it's just going great. That's a joke, okay? We got paired with the science. We got to report to Father Jim and to be a part of this department, and boy, did we luck out. It is awesome to be with these people. It's awesome to work with Rose Carroll, who's helped us in a tremendous way grow this program. But to be with them on a daily basis is wonderful. So Carrie and Corianne, you don't have to have a C to work in the center, but they are awesome. They are huge forces in making things go well in terms of organizing, but especially the application process. They are making, there's a lot to this. And so Father Jim was joking. I said, what do you want me to talk about? And he goes, well, just say nice things about me. And he's going to eat his words now, because sometimes I say nice things about it, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. But this is an amazing machine, is too depersonalized a word. It's an amazing process that these people dedicate themselves to. I get to see Carrie and Corianne work very hard to orchestrate all the letters and all the processes that need to go in place. Christy is new this year, and that's awesome. She's been around for years, but now she's officially part of, and her energy is already helping us innovate and get better at what we do. So I'm super happy that now I get to call you a colleague. Pardon me? We haven't scared her off yet. They're going to let. And Dr. Kohlberg and Father Foster, Dr. Kohlberg has been an instrumental force in giving good advice and direction, especially for the minor, but many other things. I'll go into her office when I'm in trouble, as many of us do, right? We'll go into her office. So I'm thrilled that I get to work with Kathleen Kohlberg on a daily basis. And Father Jim Foster, wow, quiet, humble presence who is powerful and wise behind the scenes. And he probably hates all those words being said in front of him. You like the second one? Yeah. I'm so happy that he's my boss. I'm so happy I get to work in the College of Science because all of this is done here. But to watch his wonderful support of all of you is really inspiring and heartwarming. As the rest of the university gets ready to vacation and kick back, these two will go deep into the cave and do your letters. And maybe they did last year's letters for you, or maybe a number of you, they're doing their letters now. We do not disturb them. It's like a bear going into hibernation, except they're not hibernating. We just don't want to disturb them because it's hard work, and they will never tell you that. But I've gotten to see some of your letters. They are 4 and 5 pages, single-spaced. And let me tell you, if I had a letter like that advocating for me, I could go anywhere. And I just want you to know that they do that. And they don't get thanked a lot about that. And I just want you to know that they are awesome. And I wish for you great colleagues like these. It's wonderful to work in a place of competent and compassionate people. So that leads me to my second thing. Why did you become a science pre-professional major? What was the draw? There's a lot of advantages to it. It gives you a lot of room to maneuver in terms of learning the sciences and the other kinds of courses that you want to specially tailor what your training is going to be like. It's a great major for that. Was that why? A lot of things in life, we start doing it and then we discover a deeper and deeper motivation. So I think about your major. And I think about, you could have done a pure science, nothing against the other majors, okay? If some of you are in the other majors, hey, this is not a slam. You have your own compassionate path. But yours, science pre-professional, when I think about that and I think about your motivation for doing that, I'm reminded of a question that we asked a number of you out of this class right here. It was a question at the end: which would you rather have, a smart doctor or a caring doctor, or a smart physical therapist or a caring physical therapist, or whatever your nurse practitioner or PA, or whatever your veterinarian, whatever your path is. So just ask yourself that question. What would you rather have, a smart doctor or a caring doctor? Now, I was thinking of just throwing that question out there and letting them answer that, but I was afraid that a number of them would want to play a joke on me and pick one of them, because the answer to that question is they're both correct. If you answer one or the other, you fail that question. And the science is completely behind that. That if you're a smart doctor and not a caring doctor, you're really not that smart. And if you're a caring doctor and you're not that smart, you really aren't helping people. So the two of them go together. They are flip sides of the coin. Competence and compassion are flip sides of the coin. You might have the smartest cardiologist in the world, the most skilled surgeon in the world, but if they are not into your problem, your issue, their smarts are worthless. It doesn't matter that they're the best in the world because they're not focusing it on you. And that's where I come back to science pre-professional. Somehow, you wanted to pick a path that was for others. You are picking a science with the intention of having it go to someone else. Somehow, some suffering in the world grabbed you. You were moved by it. You wanted to do something about it, and now you're doing something about it. And those of you, I just snuck in the scientific definition of compassion there, didn't I? Noticing suffering, being moved by it, but not losing emotional control, being emotionally regulated, wanting to do something about it, and then actually doing it. And that's you. That's science pre-professional in its essence, no matter what path you pick. And so I'm imagining that you're discovering that your motivation to do this work is deepening and deepening. And I want to invite you to stay close to that motivation. One of the things I've learned, I think in my own life, I've really seen this, that, you know, people ask you, why do you want to be whatever? And you give the answer to that. It's your motivation. And you fill out letter after letter, or application after application, and you give the motivation. And then it's like, okay, I'm a clinician now. I'm an administrator now, whatever. I'm done with answering that question, why do I want to do this? But what I found is that that motivation actually is our rudder throughout our lives. And that your desire, which will deepen in your awareness of how wonderful this motivation is, that motivation will actually not only help others, it will save you. Everything we've learned from the science of compassion says that when we have our minds and hearts in a space of compassion, our brains change and we are able to reach out and be with people who are suffering and take care of ourselves at the same time. We know that scientifically. We've known it for thousands of years, but now we can really say, wow, your motivation to care for people in the world, that's being a full and happy human. And it's actually a great and happy way to live. Sometimes we talk about being heroes in healthcare, and that's a good thing. But I'm always suspicious of when people say, oh, you're such a hero, because that often means, I'm glad you're doing it because I don't want to do it. You know, but this call to be compassionate is for all of us. And it can be heroic, but those of us who do this work know that it's a life where it's both sad and happy. We get to do things for people, and we wish we could do more. Those two things go together. That's the life that we live. But that is, as the Notre Dame football halftime goes, that's worth fighting for. And so what I wish for you is that the good work that God has begun in you be brought to completion. And I'm so happy that I got to know you. Congratulations.
I'll now ask Dean Kohlberg to step forward and call forward the graduates to receive their diplomas. She'll explain how to do that. It's kind of like a buffet, but I'll let her explain it.
All right, graduates, if you want to go ahead and you'll be processing down this aisleway, coming around and lining up at the stairs. When the end of the row in front of you gets there, the second row will proceed. You'll come across, you will shake hands with, you will hand your slip with your name on it to Carrie. You will get your diploma from Father Foster. You will pause. Yeah, go back and get your slip. Stay in alphabetical order. You will get your diploma from Father Foster. You will pause, and this lovely person's going to take your picture. Wave, hi. Then you will shake hands with Professor Lax Walker, Dr. Vachon, and then go down here and take another picture, and then process around this group back to your seat. I have already walked 3 people from the first row through this, so they will just follow the person in front of you. Okay, I just got a couple remarks here. We're here to honor our Bachelor of Science graduates with the Science Pre-Professional major, and you've been hearing it. We know why this major was designed over 6 decades ago, about an interdisciplinary science major that encourages students to be more broadly educated in the humanities and science because they will be better health professionals. But I learn more about it every year at early admission or admitted students day when I hear our seniors tell the admitted students about it. They enthusiastically talk about the opportunity to take any science course they wish after the core. Some will take a physics class, not very many, some. But broadly, they will take chemistry, math, applied math, and biology. But they can take the ones that fire them up and prepare them for what they do. But others the other thing they're excited about is the ability to study outside the sciences. So about 20% of folks will make the choice of, I'm going to take a broad array of classes. And I look at those, and they've taken arts and social studies and sciences and humanities and theology and interdisciplinary skills, and they've just cut a broad swath across the university. But others complete a secondary specialty. So they have an intellectual depth outside their primary major. Almost half did the compassionate care minor, led by Dr. Vachon, but there are other disciplinary minors. There's the Hesburgh Program in Public Service, International Development, Peace Studies, Health, Humanities and Society, Science, Technology and Values, Catholic Social Traditions, Latino Studies, and Sustainability. 20% either got a minor or a major in theology. They're a very religious group. Languages are also popular, with majors and minors in Chinese, Greek, Russian, and Spanish. The social sciences, anthropology, political science, psychology, sociology, and our new global affairs. And the humanities were not ignored. They have degrees in music, classics, history, and art history. Some wanted to dive deeper in an area like digital marketing, computer and digital technology, and applied math. One student got a degree in real estate. They'll probably make the most money. Others completed the honors program. Because of this freedom, 16 graduates in this group completed a major and 2 other minors or majors. 2 graduates completed 4 areas of study. These are the most efficient people I have ever seen. And they arrived as bright, ambitious first-year students, and they threw themselves into dorm activities, clubs, sports, and service, and went off to their first spring break. And the world changed. Medical schools have been highly interested in the past decade about grit and resilience. They don't have to ask that question anymore. If you're still standing after what they've been through, they've got grit and resilience. So they adapted to virtual studies, often without class materials that were locked back in their dorm room. They adapted to virtual service and research work that first summer. They came back to a surrealistic sophomore year. And they bounced back and forth between live and virtual. Many of them had to study the second semester of organic chemistry while in solo quarantine over at the Foundry. They all had challenges. Some had more challenges than others, and that makes the stay even more precious to those families. As the world thawed out, they returned to activities with enthusiasm, and they restored and modified some campus traditions. Students who come behind you owe you a great debt for putting those campus traditions back into place. They will go off to healthcare, business, teaching, public service, and education. They have learned outside the classroom through a variety of ways. If you need hope or inspiration about the future, look to the graduates in this room today. Now I would like to present the 2023 Bachelor of Science with a major in Preprofessional Studies. Our first graduate, Caroline Elizabeth A. Umaima H. Al-Shamari. Aiden Anderson. Olivia Ann Baumberger. Julie Ann Boccherini. Benjamin Joseph Bresci. Bryce Katz Brophy. Ava Lily Butterbaugh. Halen Calixto Carbonell. Constance Peace Chen. Michael Francis Schmiel. Sarah T. Chong. Natalie Therese Christensen. Olivia Lorelei Cole. Liam Patrick Collins. Callie Ann Coors. Shannon Ariel Colbert. Anne Frances Dont. Yes, it's okay to do all that. Cheer as much as you want. Joseph Patrick DeBridney. Grace Sylvia Ducat. Emily Erin Epperson. John Thomas Fitzpatrick. Jake Charles Feuermeyer. Rachel Gutierrez. Joseph Francis Harris. Quinton Hare. Juanilla Larin Hudson. Ian Carey Johns. Savannah Noel Joy. Carolyn Catherine Kakmarek. Margaret Marie Kelly. Alexander Peter Klinsevich. Madeline Ann Kling. Hannah Marie Kowalkowski. Matthew Spencer Kraft. John Allen Ligon. Rachel Elise Linton. Angela Tinun Lee. Rebecca Marino. Alexandra Marie Maybau Masca. Elizabeth Christina Mira. Margot Elise Miller. Jolie Marie Mitchell. Stefan Gustav Osborne. Camille Marie Patton. Carlandrea Ferry Jean Petty. Taylor Grace Robinson. Alejandra Isabel Rodriguez. Teresa Annette Salazar. Brendan James Schwartz. Lauren Seidler. Catherine O'Neill Schroyer. Samuel Liam Sunman. Victoria Guerrero Toledo. Chinazo Anenechukwu Udekwe. Ava Malin Whitler. Timothy Euro. And we send congratulations to those not celebrating with us today who graduated: Elizabeth Ann Josic, Maxim Manyak, and Un Sun Sun. That is the class of 2023. And I'm going to turn it back to Father Foster for our awards.
Yesterday at the Dean's Award Luncheon, several of our SCPP graduates received awards, which are listed on the back of your program. The awards are conferred not only for demonstrated academic excellence over the past 4 years, but for the development of that holistic heart of service that we've mentioned, virtues including integrity, character, leadership, and professionalism in their extracurricular activities and in their life here at Notre Dame. I think the easiest thing to do would be for all 6 of you to just kind of stand over here. You know who you are. And stand in the order they are on the program. Yeah. And then as I call your name, just stay there until I finish reading just a little summary of some of the few of the things that you've done over the past 4 years that we've gone to kind of lift up as we award you with these awards. And then as you come across, shake hands with Dean Kohlberg and receive the award from her. And then I'll step out of my little cocoon and shake hands with you and then come back into it as I read the next, okay? The Department of Preprofessional Studies was founded in 1960 with a curriculum designed to provide a strong science and humanities background for students heading toward the healing professions. And so the students we want to honor today: the first award is the Reverend Joseph L. Walter CSC Award. This award is given to graduates who have demonstrated not only academic and professional competence, but a commitment to service within and beyond Notre Dame. Father Walter was, as I mentioned, the chief pre-medical advisor here at Notre Dame until he retired in 2005 after 36 years in that role. And he wrote committee letters for thousands of applicants, including me, and I know several people in this room. The recipient of Father Joseph Walter Award is Angela Lee. Angela is a science pre-professional studies major with a second major in theology. She and her family are from Fort Wayne, Indiana. She's amassed a broad background of academic achievement and strong clinical service and leadership record. In addition to service in the dorm and cultural clubs, these include an SSLP as a direct care worker at the St. Louis Center in St. Louis, which is a residential community for persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities. She's had volunteer efforts with Matthew 25 Health and Dental Clinic in Fort Wayne. She's had multiple leadership roles with campus ministry as a multicultural anchor intern and retreat leader, as a group leader for the ND Vision program for 2 years, as a team leader for the RCIA program, and in service as a liturgical ministry in our dorm and in the Basilica. Angela will be working at the E. Blair Warner Medical Center this summer and then pursuing a year of service with a homeless ministry called A Simple House. Then she will be applying to physician assistant programs down the road. Congratulations. The next award is the Lawrence Baldinger Award. We have 3 recipients. The Lawrence Baldinger Award, you remember he was the dean, the 4th dean of the College of Science from 1943 to 1960. And then he was the first head of the newly founded Preprofessional Studies Department from 60 until 1970. This award is given to graduates of the College of Science who have demonstrated achievement in academics and research, broad leadership skills, and a commitment to service and professionalism as they prepare for a future in healthcare. The first recipient is Constance Chen. She is a science pre-professional major with a minor in Chinese language and literature. She and her family are from Rochester, Minnesota. In addition to her academic success, she's developed a strong clinical service research and leadership background that included clinical shadowing in the oncology department of a hospital in Beijing, volunteering in hospice settings in Rochester and South Bend, pursuing an internship with a technology firm in St. Paul at the height of the pandemic, assisting with the creation of an automated system detecting COVID antibody in blood, participating in translational research through the Mayo Clinic's summer undergraduate research program, and investigating the causes of vaccine-induced thrombotic thrombocytopenia. She's also pursued service and leadership opportunities through her dorm, Baden Hall, and through the Notre Dame Chorale. She will be attending the University of Minnesota School of Medicine in the fall. The next recipient of the Baldinger Award is Sarah Chong. Sarah is a science pre-professional major, a member of the Glynn Family Honors Program, also pursuing supplementary major in Russian language, literature, and culture, and our compassionate care in medicine minor. She and her family are from Chattanooga, Tennessee. In addition to her academic achievements, she has built up a strong clinical research and service background, including participation in an SSLP at the Kimberly Home Pregnancy Center in Clearwater, Florida. She also volunteered for a suicide hotline service run out of Boston. She has a long-standing work record as a medical scribe, both in nearby Elkhart and back home in Chattanooga, transitioning into a telehealth scribing opportunity for the University of California, San Francisco ENT clinic. She also pursued undergraduate psychology research with the Adult Development and Aging Lab of Professor Cindy Bergman, and her capstone in compassionate care minor investigated perceived clinical compassion during encounters with healthcare and the potential relationship to variances in health outcomes across ethnic groups, a project that led her to study last summer in Kazakhstan, which is a home to more than 80 different ethnicities. So Sarah will be attending the University of Tennessee School of Medicine next year. The third Baldinger Award recipient is Shannon Culbert. Shannon is a science pre-professional studies major with minors in compassionate care and medicine and in science, technology, and values. She and her family are from Albany, New York. She has amassed a broad record of academic achievement with a strong clinical service and research and leadership background. These include numerous shadowing experiences across multiple disciplines near home, also volunteering in a hospice setting near her home. She has pursued several research opportunities through the Harper Cancer Research Institute, the Naval Research Enterprise Internship Program, and the Life Sciences Summer Undergraduate Research Program at the University of Minnesota. as a student scholar in the Cancer Research, Education, and Training Experience program. In addition, she's pursued leadership opportunities through her dorm and several student clubs, as well as through her work as a lifeguard, a chemistry tutor, a swimming coach, a tutor of children from under-resourced schools through the Robinson Community Learning Center, and as the student representative of the College of Science to the Notre Dame Honor Code Committee. During the coming years, she will be further expanding her research background at the NCI, the National Cancer Institute of the NIH, before applying to MD, PhD programs. Congratulations. Next is the Patrick J. Nyland MD Award, named for a 1982 graduate of Notre Dame who died after his third year of medical school at the University of Michigan and was awarded the MD degree posthumously. His family established this award to be given to graduates who embody the strong, holistic character and record of service, academic achievement, professionalism, and integrity that Patrick Nyland brought to all of his endeavors. The recipient is Natalie Christensen. Natalie is a science pre-professional studies major with a supplementary major in theology and a minor in compassionate care and medicine. She and her family are from Parker, Colorado. In addition to deep academic achievements, she has also built up strong clinical research, leadership, and service record, including an SSLP as a case manager at the Teen Court Program in Colorado Springs, clinical volunteering at Memorial Hospital in South Bend and at the University of Colorado Hospital back home, and at our campus vaccine clinic as well. She also pursued research at the Harper Cancer Research Institute at Notre Dame and at the Institute for Translational Research while abroad in Galway. She has also demonstrated her leadership abilities and professionalism through her commitments to her dorm, where she served in multiple roles, but most recently as a resident assistant in Lewis Hall. She's also been done service as a tutor for the biology department. She's been involved in the Notre Dame Magnificat choir as well over the years. While applying to medical school during the coming years, she'll be working as a medical assistant here in South Bend through the Memorial Family Medicine Residency John Charles Bryant Fellowship, exploring the field of primary care and underserved medicine. Congratulations. And the final award is the Samuel J. Schmel MD Award. Dr. Schmel is an alum of the University of Notre Dame, an orthopedic surgeon in Chicago who was also a member of our College of Science Advisory Council for many years. This award is given to the person who has achieved the highest academic record in the department while also demonstrating a commitment to their holistic formation, personal integrity, and professionalism. The recipient this year is Brendan Schwartz. Brendan, in addition to his science pre-professional major, is also completing a second major in applied and computational math and statistics. He and his family are from Overland Park, Kansas. In addition to his academic success, he developed a strong clinical service research and leadership background over the years. These included clinical work as a scribe at a pain clinic near his home, clinical service at Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City, work as a first aid services team member here at Notre Dame, and volunteering at 2 of the outreach clinics of St. Joseph Hospital, Sister Maura Brannick Clinic here in South Bend, and the Family Medicine Center in Mishawaka. He also participated in an international medical service trip with the Timmy Global Foundation on a medical brigade in Ecuador. He also pursued infectious disease research with Professor Alex Perkins and cancer research with Professor Amy Stark in the DNA Learning Center lab. And he's also pursued research with Una Nueva Esperanza in Puebla. He, in addition, pursued leadership and service opportunities in the dorm, Dunn Hall, and through the Notre Dame Club soccer team, and with La Casa de Amistad in South Bend. Brendan will be attending Columbia University Medical School in the fall. Congratulations to all the awardees, award winners. I'm just going to close with a few remarks, as if I haven't talked enough, right? Sorry. A few years ago, there was a physician alumnus who visited Notre Dame and stopped by our office to see how things have changed over the 40 years that had passed since he had graduated. And he told of a conversation that he had had with one of his colleagues about his experience of Notre Dame graduates in healthcare. And I've heard this before. His friend said that there was something special about them. And I'd like to think so. There's something special about all of you. But when he asked what that might be, his friend said very simply, you can depend on them. You can depend on them. Hopefully, at some point down the road, your colleagues in whatever field you go into will be able to say of you, you can depend on him, you can depend on her, you can depend on them to be there when they're needed. That they have come to depend on you, and hopefully not just because of your competence, broadly considered, but because you have and bring a particular vision to your work. One Notre Dame graduate who will be receiving an honorary degree tomorrow, Dr. James O'Connell, is the president of the Boston Healthcare for the Homeless program, a site where several of our students have served over the years. He was a late vocation, what we call a late vocation to medicine, having studied philosophy and theology and political theory as an undergrad and graduate student before entering medical school. He received his medical degree, he entered medical school at the age of 30. Talk about gap years. There you go. He was interviewed for Harvard Magazine back in 2016, and he mentioned that after completing his internal medicine residency and as he prepared for a fellowship in oncology, he was asked by several faculty members to join Boston's new homeless health program as its first full-time doctor. And thinking it might possibly be a dead-end career move for him, he ultimately decided, well, he'd give it a go and see what happens. And right away, he met a woman by the name of Barbara McInnes, who was a legendary nurse who cared for homeless persons at Boston's Pine Street Inn shelter. And she told him, as he kind of approached patients on that first day, she said, ditch the stethoscope, ditch the tools, and spend some weeks soaking patients' feet, a nice, very biblical thing to do. And she said to do that as a way of building trust. And that simple challenge to him from her imparted lessons that he has carried for the subsequent decades. And he basically listed them in very simple terms. He said, take your time, listen to patients, listen to the patient's stories, respect their dignity, be consistent, offer care and hope, and never judge, address people by name. Remember that the core of the healing art is the personal relationship. He said that he realized that everything he had been taught to do before that, to go fast, to be efficient, to have an agenda, all of that was counterproductive when you take care of the homeless. What she and other nurses taught him early on was that you have to find a way to break in and connect. Sometimes all that took was getting them a cup of coffee or a sandwich and then sitting with them when they saw them outside and just talking with them. That simple connection allowed trust to grow, and that trust was the potential ground for further healing and the ability to move forward. What is true of the homeless is, I think, true of every patient. Clinicians must create what in theology is called the condition for the possibility, the conditions for the possibility of healing to occur. And that involves sharing your very selves with those you encounter along the way. So no matter what field you enter, share your very selves and recognize what it is you are doing. Mother Teresa of Calcutta would have used her own words, don't ever forget whom you are touching. Our life has no other meaning and no other motivation other than caring for him, feeding him, clothing him, visiting him, in the distressing disguise of the poor. Hopefully, you will look at what you do in a very different way, as a vocation and as doing something beautiful for God. The graduates have received a few tokens of gratitude from the college and the department. One is a gift from the dean, a Notre Dame College of Science pin, always very fashionable for any occasion. The second is a Notre Dame key fob that was designed by Carrie Teschka, also very fashionable and also useful. Not that a pin isn't, it is, but a word of thanks before we conclude here today for Carrie Teschka and for Corey Ann Kellums, who have supported these students for many years and who organized this event, for Dean Kohlberg and Christy Lax-Walker and Rose Carroll and Dr. Vachon, who helped to kind of make this all happen and make this all happen over the years. I kind of just show up and they tell me where to stand, and even sometimes put things down on the floor to kind of point to where I'm supposed to stand, and then I start talking. I will close with one final quote. Father Hesburgh, when he retired in 1987, at his last commencement as president, closed with his charge to the class with these words. He said, "Let us agree that we shall never forget one another, and whatever happens, let us remember how good it felt when we were here, all here together, united by a good and decent feeling, which made us better people, better probably than we would otherwise have ever been." I believe that is true. I hope that it is true. Mother Teresa would now say, enough talk, let's get to work. One final moment, I would ask the graduates to come forward. Up on stage, we're going to sing the alma mater. As they move, congratulations again for everything that you have achieved and you will become. We are all proud of you. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Do you want to mention refreshments are down at the end of the hall?
Oh. And after we're concluded with the alma mater, there are refreshments down at the end of the hall, and enjoy the scenery.
And a great view.
And I will lead off with the alma mater. I won't ask one of you guys to do it. I invite, since it's the alma mater, I'll invite everyone to please stand. And when we get everyone in place, I will intone it, and everybody join in. Got some more room in row 5, for row 4. Yeah. We'll find out. Yeah. All right, we all in place? All right. Notre Dame, our mother, tender, strong, and true, proudly in the heavens gleams thy gold and blue. Glory's mantle cloaks thee, golden is thy fame, and our hearts forever praise thee, Notre Dame. Congratulations. Have a good day.